Hello, everyone. Good evening. We're back. I'm sorry that we didn't do Ask the Drummer for a couple of weeks, but we're back now, and I'm really excited about it because I do miss chatting to awesome drummers, and I'm really glad that our guests, not just one but two drummers, guests today, are able to join us this evening. So yeah, we had a short break. But like I said, we are back, and it's now 2 minutes past 7 here in the UK, which means it's 2 minutes past 3 in the morning in Manila. I'm sure most of you, my dear friends, are already asleep because it's Sunday and tomorrow, Monday. I'm sure you'll be going. A lot of you will be going to work early on Monday morning. Anyways, I just got back from Leeds as well, a record fair there organised by Record Plant in Leeds. Absolutely amazing venue, Corn Exchange. Perfect. Anyways, so today's guest, got to see them at the Bradford, the band Bradford, not the place Bradford, but Bradford's album released last year, and they were there, and I found out about their band as well. So I got to see them because they've released a new album themselves this month, and they're here now. So we'll talk about the new album. So my dear friends, please welcome Kayley Davies and Maxwell Newsome III of Sky Valley Mistress. Yay!
Hello.
Good evening.
Evening.
Yeah, I really love those the uniform. They're absolutely amazing. Thank you. How are you?
Good, thank you. Yeah, we're very pleased that we could finally find a time to come and do this with you. You've been asking us for a while,
Yeah.
not to be divas, but we just haven't found a moment in our schedule where we could actually come and do this. So I'm glad that it's finally happened today.
I know. Well, I am really glad as well because, and I thought I wasn't really prepared for it because I thought it's the 22nd of March, but then, I'm glad that you said that you're okay for 22nd of February. So when that's brilliant. So how have you been since I saw you at Crash Records in Leeds?
Tired. When you drive a hearse to the moon and back, takes a lot out of you.
Yeah, what goes up to the moon or wherever must come down.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it's been chaos. Albums come out, feeling good. We did the exhibition as well at Prism in Blackburn, and yeah, did the record shop tour. So it's just kind of been chaotic non-stop, and then the release of the record happened, and then we're straight back into the studio, making sure we're rehearsed and ready for the tour next month.
Yeah, yeah. And the Thundertaker, which is the name of your the hearse that you use for the tour and stuff, it's still okay. It's still working and
Yeah,
taking
that's old, 30 years old, but runs a lot more smoother than us.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, well, I'm going to ask you about Sky Valley Mistress and the new album later on. But first, let me just welcome you to Ask the Drummer. Episode 199 is all about you, Kayley and Max from Sky Valley Mistress. So I just want to start from the very beginning. I know I have seen Max play drums. I haven't seen you, Kayley, play drums yet. But are you I will get an opportunity because I'm going to go and see you in Salford.
Right.
So yeah. But are you both from the Blackburn? Sorry, I always get confused. So Blackburn, yeah.
Yes, we are. Yeah.
Yeah. Because Blackburn and Burnley, I often sort of like get those two places, like interchange because they're very close.
But we don't mind.
Yeah, because we don't care about football. But it's fair. I definitely know where both places are, but I get Chorley and Clitheroe mixed up. Don't know. Just done all my life. So, don't worry about it.
Okay. Well, what's Blackburn like when you were growing up?
Shit.
We found music.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot more things going on in Blackburn then than there was now. It's definitely a town that's sort of struggling to find its identity post industry and post just the culture that it had, and it does still have a lot of great things going on. They're just sort of, there's little pockets, and it's sort of identifying that. That's why we wanted to do the exhibition at Prism Contemporary. You know, we could have quite easily taken it anywhere in the country. Our labels in London. We could have gone done a nice fancy exhibition down in London. We could have done it in Manchester, but it was really important for us to do it in Blackburn, just to be like, there are people doing stuff in Blackburn, and let people access that who might not get out into the city and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think the most famous musicians from Blackburn are Bradford, right? Or are there any other famous musicians?
I think the music scene, although it's had one for a lot of years, I think it's the post like the illegal raves and things. It had such a huge identity with that, such a huge cultural movement. And then after that, when it all kind of like fell apart and collapsed, and then there was sort of like an indie thing running through. But I think a lot of small towns suffer from it, that if you've not got people coming from outside in, it stays very insular, and I think it was that case of like, you can do well but don't do too well, I was sort of just on the sort of, when I was coming up as a young teenager, like kind of on the dying embers of like what the music scene was, and then for a while when we were coming up, there wasn't really anywhere to play or anywhere to go, and everyone had kind of like given up, sort of thing, and we're moving into those towns. Darwin, our like sort of sister town, has always had like something cool going on, and that's had a lot more pockets. But Blackburn kind of got left alone, and for a while we didn't really have any allegiance to Blackburn, because we were like, there's nothing there for us to give. But as you get older and a bit more mature, you know, you realise how important your roots are, and that if you're not doing something to serve it, then of course there's not going to be anything there. Like Kay said about doing Prism, like doing the exhibition at Prism and stuff like that.
Yeah. But you're also connected, or you've got connections with Preston as well, because I do believe that your parents worked at Acton Records.
Yeah. I've always had a musical family, or a music-loving family. But Preston as well, for us as a band, has always been sort of like our home away from home, because when we were coming up, like we started playing at the Ferret, and I think we're on over 30, I nearly said over 100.
No, over 30,
feels like it. Yeah, over 30 shows there, and that's kind of classed as our like home away from hometown show sort of thing.
Yeah. So, are you also, Kayley, are you from a musical family yourself?
No, I'm not.
No?
I actually quite the opposite. My parents are both deaf, but they both do enjoy music. My dad he wears hearing aids so he can hear, so he did like enjoy Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath and Deep Purple and stuff like that. So I did grow up listening to that music, but not really thinking that I could actually play it myself. It was not something that was introduced to me in that way. And my mum, she's completely deaf, but she always used to sit and like put a hand on the speaker and watch Top of the Pops and stuff like that. And she knows what she likes and knows what she doesn't like, but it's all on the vibration and stuff like that. It's, you know, that's why the energy and the emotion that we put into our music is really important to me, because it's not just about how good it sounds. It's got to be there for everyone, even if you can't hear it, you know.
Yeah. You're mainly the vocalist, you're singing Sky Valley Mistress, but you also play drums. I mean, like I said, I haven't seen you play drums before, because when you were at Crash, it's very limited. There's no drums there. It's acoustic. But I've got to say this to you. Your voice is absolutely powerful.
Thank you.
It's amazing. So, because this is about drumming and drummers, how did you get into playing the drums as well? Before I ask Max about
It was do or die, wasn't it? It sort of happened, obviously, for anyone that's known us for a long time, there used to be 4 of us in the band. And then when our first album came out, it was the weekend that the pandemic when lockdown in the UK was officially announced, which is the bad time to release a record. So from that, obviously, we didn't tour our album or anything like that. And then 2 of the members are no longer in the band. And originally we were going to create an alias, weren't we?
Well, yeah. So we were going to do it as fake band name, and then we were going to test this sort of crazy idea of what we had, of how to sort of play live. And then a festival in London called us and said, do you want to open Masters of the Riff? And we went, yes. And that was 4 months from the call, and then it was about a week after the call. Kay was driving, and we suddenly stopped and just went, we don't have a band, we don't have a set. Why have we just said yes to a gig? What? And started freaking out and panicking. But I think that worked to our advantage because it gave us a deadline, it gave us a goal, and gave us a way of figuring out.
Yeah, because Max had the idea to play how we do now, where Max plays the kick drum and the guitar, and I play the rest drum kit. And I was optimistic, but also I don't know how this is going to work. I've never picked up sticks. But yeah, it was do or die in that moment. So we played our first show in front of our record label. So we were also thinking we could potentially lose our record deal if we bombed. And before we went on stage, the place was empty. Is the Alpha in Hackney? Is it 400? 300 capacity? We got on stage and the lights came up and all of a sudden it was full, and we just looked at each other here we go, good luck.
It was scary because at the time we were using the introduction speech of our first album. That plays whilst we stand up. Well, we had the idea to have that play whilst we stand on stage. And so we could just kick straight into the tunes. And so we had about 30 seconds of looking at each other with terror and panic, of realising what we're doing. And then you looked out in the crowd, and all you could see were people kind of looking at the weird, bastard drum kit set up sideways, us 2 facing each other. And people would kind of point at Kay, then at me, then at the floor, then at Kay again, and then sort of turn to each other and go,
that we were like,
yeah.
These people think this is as wild as, we didn't consider. But we got through the set, and we're still doing it now. So something.
Yeah.
Or we're just not busy enough to realise that it's wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Well, I'm gonna ask you, Max, now. So what got you into drumming?
I just always have, and I got my. Well, I think the main thing is that I've come from a music-loving family, and my mum didn't mind the noise, and weirdly actively encouraged it. I was 4 years old when I got my first drum kit, just a little kid's sparkly red thing that I used to go into the outhouse and flash around on. And then I think it was when I was about 7 years old, we had to get rid of it because it got water damaged. And then I quickly realised how much I missed it, because I only kind of I was a little kid, I was only messing around with it. But at the same time, I have a really good loving mum who would I want to be an artist this week, right? Go to art club, right? I want to be a martial art expert, right? Go to kickboxing. And so I was doing all these different clubs week in, week out. And by the time I said, I want to be a drummer, and I'd already said I wanted to play guitar before that, my mum was just right, if you want to play drums, I'll pay for your first 10 lessons, but you have to save up, buy your own drum kit, because we are done going through everything that you could possibly do as a human. And then I saved up, used some of my birthday, my Christmas money, put it all together and stuff. And then, I bought my first kit at 10 years old. And just never stopped hitting things from people since. But it was she was really, really good. I mean, most people now, kids, they have to get an electronic drum kit because of volume and stuff, or they'll have a drum kit and they have to put pads on. and it'll always be in the bedroom or somewhere, you know, like in a conservatory or like out of the way. My house, you come in and there's a living room, middle room, and you have to go through that to the kitchen. And the drum kit used to live in the middle room. There was no dining table, just a big old drum kit, and that's where I was allowed to play and like thrash as loud as like I was playing like Rage Against the Machine and you know like all the things you do when you're a teenager and like and I had really cool neighbors because that wall that was next to the middle room was right next to my old neighbors, and I remember I bumped into them. Like I say, I used to actively avoid them because like I would play till like 11 at night, you know, and like first thing in the morning. It was wild, and it wasn't until I got a little bit later into my teenage years I realized like how I was taught. Like I had a beautiful, you know, situation, but I knew that I was completely pushing it and you know testing my luck, and and so I used to avoid my neighbors, and it was when I was 18. We bumped into each other on the street in front, and I was like, oh, and they kind of looked at me, and I was like, hi. I was like, well, so about the swimming that's been going on for nearly a decade, you've not said anything, so I've sort of took no news as good news. We're cool. And the fella just said, he was like, if you weren't any good, we'd have a problem, but it sounds all right to us. So thank you very much.
Oh, that's brilliant. Are you an only child?
No, I also have a sister who's 4 years older than me, who, as much as she is proud of our musical accomplishments now, if she could have shoved a drumstick deep into you know, she probably would have. I remember because my mum was so cool about it and loved it. She like my sister would she'd be, you know, like watching TV in the living room and then bosh the door down and fly terror at me. And I'd be like, what's the issue? And like, I was completely blind to the fact that I was just deafening the whole street, you know, and she couldn't think. But it was a pretty wild time. And then there was one Christmas where she completely had like the end of it. And she packed down my drum kit completely wrong, shoved it all into under the stairs and locked it, and I wasn't allowed to touch it for 2 weeks, and we were having a quiet Christmas, and it's a sort of like family what's the word, like a family legend now of that Christmas, because I was so angry for 2 weeks. Like it was like the most ridiculous Christmas because I was just in a filthy bad mood because I didn't have my drum kit. And then and then it got pulled out again, and then it never stops again.
And then you're happy, you're happy again after that. Can I just ask, how did the two of you meet?
How did we meet? We've just been childhood friends since forever.
In bands.
Yeah, I was
Lots of bad bands.
Yeah.
Oh,
we
okay,
were in like high school bands together and stuff. We did talent competitions. We were always the bridesmaid, never the bride of those competitions.
Yeah.
And then we went to different colleges, and I was in a band that all fell apart. I was like, well, in a similar way that we did this two-piece thing. My band had fell through and like broke up at the time, and then I got in touch with this promoter. I said, "Oh, can I book a gig with this band?" And you know, it's like, it's a new band. He's like, "Oh yeah, send me some demos." I was like, "No, you don't need to send. You know that my band's good. Like, it's cool." I booked a show with him, but I didn't have a band. And then I ran around chasing people at college, trying to convince people to be in a band so that we could play a show. And my best friend at the time, Callum, he still is a very good friend, former guitarist of the band, and he didn't want to be in a band at the time. I was like, "No, we'll just jam a little bit. Like, it'll be cool. Like, I didn't tell him about the gig. He got involved. We were jamming a little bit. I heard Kay sing at a house party or something. I can't quite remember where, but all I remember was when we used to sing in high school, her voice was a lot higher, but I didn't know. But your tonsils?
Yeah, I got my tonsils taken out.
And then that had changed your voice.
Changed my register dropped quite a bit.
Yeah, and she had this like deep, soul, smoky voice. And I never wanted a female singer in the band at the time because I was an angry teenager who wanted to shout about everything. And and then I heard her sing, and I was like, "This is cool." Got Kay involved. We had a jam together, and then we wrote a song in like our first or second practice. And then that's like after a few little jams together, like I announced, I was like, oh, so we've got a gig in February. And luckily everyone was ready. And then that's how we got Mistress.
But it's obviously Sky Valley Mistress is not your first band. So Kayley, you were in other bands before Sky Valley Mistress, and the same with Max as well. So do you want to just say something about those bands that you were in before Sky Valley?
They were just like high school bands
Crusty
with terrible
teenage,
names
yeah.
where we just really did
A lot of covers.
Yeah,
and learnt a craft of how to play.
And how not to play
I think,
as well.
I think for us, we were coming through with the era that, you know, like, what is it? Green Day just released like American Idiot. School of Rock came out when we were 10. There was Guitar Hero was a massive thing. So all of that music and like guitar music and stuff, Kerrang was still in its heyday. Like that's what we were exposed to, and that was all the music that we liked. So that's what we emulated and copied and played a lot of covers. And then I was always in the middle of either, well, because of Blackburn's big indie scene, there was a lot of people who wanted to like indie music and do the Oasis, Smiths, Joy Division thing, or play the Strokes. Arctic Monkeys were massive at the time, so everyone wanted to be in an Arctic Monkeys tribute band, essentially. So I played in a lot of bands that did that kind of stuff, and it's not that I hated the music, I just knew that it wasn't what I wanted to do. And then there was a lot of like metal hardcore guys, and I was like, that's too shouty, that music's too pointy, I don't want to do that. And then so we sort of found our way in the middle.
Yeah. Well, I still remember the first time I saw you. That was in Darwin. They had this annual festival, and you played drums for Bradford.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
That wasn't Darwin Live.
Yeah,
that was Darwin Live. Yeah, it was.
Yeah. I thought oh wait, on the main stage. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Sorry, too many shows.
Sky Valley Mistress. Was it already formed at that time? Because I think it was. Oh, okay. So you were already.
Yeah, Sky Valley Mistress has been going since I was. Had the name since I was 17. It's been going officially since like 2012. So we're a long way into this. Yeah, we're completely unprolific.
Still a fresh new band.
Yeah, let's go with that. The next thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's nearly 15 years figuring out how to be an overnight success.
Well, you mentioned earlier that there were actually 4 of you in the beginning. What happened to the other 2?
Well, originally it started as a 3-piece. It was me, Kay, and Callum. And then we expanded the lineup, and we got Russell on bass. He was originally a guitarist. We met him. He worked at the local music shop, and we'd never heard him play before. But I'd just heard of him, and a lot of people speak about him. So we got him in the band before we'd even heard him play. And I think we were like 19, he was 15. And I was like, are you okay playing bass? He was like, yeah, you know, because we were like the local cool band. And then he stuck on that, and he was absolutely amazing, and like absolute fire and brimstone, like live jammer ripper, like the most gnarliest tones, and would just be like an absolute assault on the stage of every sort of sense. And then we did that. We went to Rancho de la Luna in California in 2016, and then Callum made the probably the smart decision in hindsight to settle down. He had a beautiful girlfriend, and he had a really good job, and he wanted to start a family and put all his time and energy into that, and he has done, and he's got a beautiful little kid now, and he's super happy. So then once he left, we got another guitarist, an old friend called Sean Berry, on guitar, and then that stuck around for a few years. And then obviously when our album came out, The Weekend Lockdown was announced. After so long working on something and working towards a goal, with it all sort of falling apart and the amount of time and energy, it wasn't really like we argued. We were all just so deflated and tired. that the guys were like, we don't want to do this anymore, which I completely understood. And you know, it had been really difficult. We'd grinded on the scene for like a good few years, and I think at that point we played well over 400 shows together and stuff. And then and then sort of me and Kay were sort of left with the sort of embers of what this band was. And I just said to Kay, I was like, knowing that we were so close to making the thing that we always dreamed of a reality, like I can't carry on and not do that again, not at least try. So then,
we had this album in us and that it needed to exist, you know.
Yeah.
Not necessarily for anyone else, just for us. But we were enjoying it. So it's a nice little plus point, don't get me wrong, but yeah.
I mean, when we started it, I didn't think it'd literally take us to the moon, but we did.
Yeah. Well, where did the name come from?
Sky Valley Mistress.
Mistress, yeah.
Oh. I feel like I really need a shorter version of this story. I'll try and be quick. It basically, there's a desert rock band called Caius. They were the band that Josh Homme were in before he was in Queens of the Stone Age, and they have an album called Welcome to Sky Valley. And on the cover is the sign for the place in California. It literally says Welcome to Sky Valley on it, and it's like this purple weird sky. And when I was a really young kid, that CD was out for whatever reason. I never listened to it. I just used to look at the cover and used to imagine what was like over the horizon. And it wasn't until I was in my teenage years, I used to go to this music club. The guy that ran it, I was saying to him, like, you know, you got these indie guys, you got these metal dudes. No one's doing like heavy music that's like slow and meaty and like fucking good. And I was like, I don't know where to find it. I'm gonna make this music. I'm gonna be an innovator. And then, you know, like I've got this idea that no one else has thought of before. Me being very naive at about 14, 15 years old. And then he said, you should listen to Caius. And so I went away and I found the CD, and then it blew my mind that it was that same CD from when I was a kid. And sorry, it's time to rock. Yeah, and then I listened to it, and it was like, it changed my life, that album. It was the best record I'd ever heard. And then I thought about what I used to think about when I was a kid, about what was over the horizon. And I used to imagine like this sort of like Mad Max race of like post-apocalyptic like people, but they were all women, and they were all like fucking 8 foot tall and just absolute badasses. Because, you know, if the world ends, like, all the men are going to probably kill themselves, so it only makes sense that there's only going to be one. And that's where the idea of like the Sky Valley Mistress came from. That's who they were, and
right.
that was it. And also just like not wanting something too male and macho, you know, I wasn't into that. But this was before Kay like joined. I had that name like sitting in my mind, ready for when we started a band. And then it kind of got a bit annoying at the beginning, didn't it? Because everyone would be like, "Oh, so who's the mistress?"
Oh, right, of course.
Yeah, that's the point. But cool.
Yeah. So, was it? No, you said mistress there or something. So you're okay with that name. So when you joined, Kayley, were you the founding member as well, or were they already like Max?
Yeah, you just had the name.
Yeah, I'd had that name. I'd had that name sitting in the bank for a little while, waiting for the right thing to come about.
Yeah.
And then
so when you were a 4-piece, because when you Google Sky Valley Mistress, and then there's the description where it's like a dual drumming duo, because that's what you are now. So did you do that when you were a 4-piece? Did you also play drums, Kayley, when you were when there were 4 of you?
No, so that's why that first gig was so terrifying, because that was the 4 months that I had to.
Yeah.
I learned. We had a half an hour set, so I learned the songs, for that set, and that was all I could do, and we've just built it up. And we had a very strange process of playing the songs, because obviously Max is doing the kick drum. It was trying to work out how we were doing like fills and stuff together, so we'd have to like learn the songs really slowly, especially at first because I couldn't play at all, and then like slowly play them faster and faster. Now it's a little bit of a quicker process when we're like learning songs a little bit, but yeah, it was figuring out how it was going to work and how we were actually going to pull it off in a very small time frame.
Yeah, it was really confusing. Well, it was always hard to explain because I think this setup would never have worked if I hadn't come from a drumming background. But so I would like, because Kay's on the other side of the kit and I've got the kick drum on this side, I would have to come around and be like, okay, so Kay, you're going to play this. And I would show her the hands part, and she'd kind of be like, what? That doesn't sound like the song, or, you know, that rhythm doesn't quite make sense. I'm like, yeah, but wait. And then I'd have to come around to the other side of the kit. I'd be like, right, play that. And then we'd crustily I'd add the kick drum in while she kind of played a little bit. You know, not quite perfect. She's just figuring it out. And I'm like, that's what it's going to sound like. And like, right. And then we'd have to spend hours together, like getting that beat together and that making sense. And then I'm like, right, okay, now I'm going to add the guitar. Oh, wait a minute. I can't play the guitar and kick together. Okay, so let me figure out my guitar and kick pedal part. Then I'd spend time getting that like coordination down. And I'd be like, right, now we can play this together. Then we do that together. And then I'm like, okay, now Kay, you've got to sing. And she'd be like, right, okay. And then we'd try and do that. And then she couldn't do that. So then we'd have to slow it down again. And so you're taking all these different parts and like bits, aren't you? And then you like build them up, stack it all down, and build it up, and then go again.
It's like
sort of thing.
The boss level of patting your head and rubbing your belly at the same time.
Yeah.
What did you find that? Did it come to you naturally playing drums?
More naturally than I thought. I think like because we played together for so long, and when I was singing, I always used to play like the tambourine and maracas and stuff like that. So like rhythmically, I was already thinking about a lot of these parts anyway, which I never really gave it much thought. But now, like looking back, I'm like, I do think it helped me like picking up the sticks and actually thinking about the feel and stuff like that. And you know, I do have a good ear for like knowing what dynamics need to be there and stuff like that. So like I knew what it wanted to sound like, but at first I couldn't make it sound like that. So it's like, I was like, I know I'm not good, but I know what it needs to be at and what level I want to be at. So, I think it did help that we played together for so long.
Yeah, definitely.
And because like some of the songs we were learning were ours anyway. So like we'd written them, just us with the past members of the band. So like, you know, having that connection already definitely made a difference.
I think the thing for me that really blew my mind about Kay was like the natural feel, like you said about like knowing about dynamics and stuff. But I think it's being in this band, we're really specific on, because we are a rock band. I don't like, it's why we don't play to a click track now. Like a lot of people would have expected us as a two-piece to have some sort of backing track, samples, click, like keeping it all together. But the thing coming from being the drummer of the band and kind of having to like let go of the sticks, I was really adamant that like I was beating hard. You know, I was the power behind everything. I was the thing that put all the guitars on the track for everything to ride on. You know, and the pushes and the pulls, like they were all deliberate, and how I felt would affect the show massively. And I think Kay was really sympathetic of that. Especially when we used to play live, and then when it came to playing the drums, she knew just exactly how I would play that fill, or like lean into that next section, or how I'd push the chorus a bit faster. And I think playing together like we have done, facing each other, and the connection we have like that musically is, it's obviously grown massively since we've done this, but it was always there. So, you know, Kay really understands that if she's not like throwing down and giving, like I've not got the, like she has to provide the tsunami for me to ride the wave on, you know, and if the wave's not big enough, then I'm not happy, you know, and it's not about pleasing me, it's about making a good show, because if Kay throws down the energy, that means I can like rip on the guitar, and then when everything's loud and we're like rocking that together, then that's when it feels the best and it becomes exciting. And you're right, and I think as well, having me play the kick drum, I think in the very early days, I think that's what surprised Kay, was how loud of a drummer I was, because we'd be playing and I'd be thumping this kick drum and I'd be like louder than a whole kit, everything she was doing, and it
I had to quickly learn how
yeah,
to match that.
And I think the other thing was that after she figured out the parts and relaxed in tension with her body, that meant she was able to breathe better and then sing better. And I think once she started singing at the way you can sing, which you said how amazingly powerful it is and beautiful, once that came out, then that was Kay expressing herself the way she wanted to. And then connecting that with drums that she could let it all out, then it just, like, honestly, she's the best drummer the band's ever had. Like, she's far surpassed me.
Yeah. I'm really excited to actually see it, because when I saw you without the drums, I mean, of course, it's a small venue, Crash Records. So I wasn't really
Corridor,
thinking
isn't it?
there's going to be drums there, but yeah. So I'm gonna go and see you at the Eagle Inn in Salford. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Kayley do the drum bits and then you kicking the drum as well.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be the two of you. Yeah. So it's the two of you.
Yeah. It's nothing else, and it's essentially just one drum kit and guitar. But that's the thing. That's what makes it raw and important. And I think the thing that we've learned as we've got older is that to keep that like line between your emotions and the audience as small and as direct as possible and as potent, that's the thing that we enjoy the most. And I think doing it this way has really helped us find a way to really shoot that like right into people's skull. And it's just a lot of fun.
And that, like, the way we play is on that knife edge of, like, because we have to lock in together and things go wrong naturally because, you know, two people playing one drum kit isn't always going to work out. Like, that's where the emotion, like,
it's
can
the danger,
come out,
isn't it?
you know, that everyone's sort of in the moment and seeing what's going on, and it does bring you and the audience closer together because, you know, it's everyone sort of wants to see something go wrong, but is also like rooting for you, like, come on, you can do it, you know.
Yeah. When we first started, we were thinking about adapting songs and changing them, and we quickly realised with how insanely talented Kay was, like, why don't we just play this exactly the same? And, you know, and we do, and there's songs where we go from like, you know, like a certain rhythm, then we go to halftime, then we go to like 7/8, and then she's playing all these crazy fills and singing over the top, and it's just like, I mean, you know, there's parts where I remember struggling like as the drummer who wrote the parts, and then she's just doing it like so naturally. But it's that danger of a real thing happening in real time by real people, and I think when people do come to the show and see it, and I think that's what's so refreshing to so many people, is all of those things. There's not a computer, or there's not something locking us in or taking us away from that moment. Like, when you're seeing things going wrong, usually it's because I'm full of too much adrenaline. I'm screaming at Kay to go faster. I love to play everything way too quick, and you know, and then I'm shouting at her, and then she's like, "All right, I'll give it you." And then I realise the guitar solo's coming up that I can't physically play that quick, and then that's exciting, and it, you know, but that's why we play rock music and we don't play another genre, because as much as I love listening to that stuff and jamming it and playing it on like my instrument when I'm at home or whatever, like being in a dark room and that visceral, potent, just like, that's the thing that I like to let out. I mean, that's what I used to do in my middle room when my mum used to let me
when you were, that's right,
playing to Rage Against the Machine. You know, it fires in me, and I think it was the brewing in Kay for a while.
Yeah, well, the kit setup though, it's got to be your drum kit. You don't use like a house kit, because the way I could sort of like imagine it or visualize it, because Kay is playing the drums, so like, you know, snare, and you're doing the kick drum, so it's almost like it's split.
Yeah,
So it's
Yeah.
not all facing one person.
No. So I mean, it's set up like almost like a normal drum kit, except we had to get everything made higher so that I could play it standing up. But then the kick drum's just facing the other way around, so we're facing each other. But then we've got a special mic that goes from the kick drum, and so we both got mics coming off the centre as well. So at first we were like, we're a two-piece, we're not going to have to carry half as much gear, it's going to be so much easier. And then we quickly realised that, no, we have to take everything at every show, which is a 24-inch stainless steel kick drum that is very heavy.
Yeah. And it's like, so we're taking like all the equipment with half the people now. Yeah.
Yeah, so sound engineers are usually like, oh God, like you've got two people coming with all this gear. But then once it's set up, they're like, oh, it's just a guitar and drums and vocals. They're like, yeah, that's it. It's actually quite easy. Don't worry about it.
But are you okay to use, say you got invited to a festival or something, and then all the bands are sharing each other's kits? Do you have to have your own drum kit, or you have to? Okay, all right.
Everything's like,
because even the stands are set up high for me, so we've had to get like extenders that we've had to make, and
like custom welded stuff.
Kit, yeah.
And like the mic stand that fits into the kick drum, it only fits into the hole in our kick drum.
Yeah.
So you can't turn up to because you don't always know what kit you get, so then it wouldn't fit.
But for any festival bookers listening, we're very quick at setting up. We're very efficient, so don't let that put you off. 14
minutes is our record time of having nothing set up and being able to have it all wired in, and we're organised. We have it down to a T. You have to, though. I mean, that when you get a good show and when we get the time to talk to sound guys first, we basically just say, if we've got enough space to throw a rug down in front of your other drum kit, we'll get it done like that. And the ones that are cool and let us do it, it runs smoothly. We are no problem. But it's not looked in. And when the back of the hearse, because we have a hearse hatch where the second coffin would go in, when you have to put the kick drum above it, which is about chest high. When you're trying to lift a 24-inch kick drum up onto that at midnight after a show, it's not easy. But that's the price you pay for rock and roll, apparently.
And for driving her.
Yeah.
Have you ever experienced a sound person who wouldn't let you do?
No, we're cool. We never, like, I think the thing is, we realise with how awkward we are. We turn up and we're immediately apologising, and we have our like tech spec printed out. I'm like, we don't know if you got this on the email, but here it is, just so you can make sure. We'll have everything set up side stage so we can just like plonk it on, blah blah blah. We have had some people who have been like reluctant and and wanted to do other things and use other bits, but usually it's just because they don't understand it. Once they see it and they go, oh, that's what you're doing, then there's normally not an issue.
Yeah, we'll just explain it and be like, don't worry about it.
We'll
sort it out.
We usually say like, it's like, if the changeover is 50 minutes, cool, just leave us to it and we'll get the job done. And most sound guys, if you take a job away from them, or well, not take away, if you do it for them, they're like, yeah, that's great, go for it. Like we bring our own lights and like everything's like wired up, ready to go. Like really, we don't mess about. You've got to have a slick system, because if you come unprepared, then then it really does become a problem.
Yeah. Which do you find? Well, I don't want to say easier, but which would you rather, the acoustic set, like what you did at Crash Records, or the one with the drum kit?
I mean, the acoustic was easier in that we hardly had to break anything. Like, that was beautiful.
Easier on the back.
Yeah. But nothing compares to just throwing down and, letting it out. It was a nice change, and I enjoyed doing it. But I wouldn't want to do it all the time. Definitely not.
Yeah.
I would quite happily play the drums and play electronically abrasively loud every night.
Yeah.
Although I would like someone else to carry things.
Yeah. Before I ask about the new album, the nicknames Hell Kitten and Leather Messiah. Do you still use them? do you still, do
We
you
still
still
use
use?
them.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Uh,
So
yeah.
where did those nicknames come from?
Hell Kitten.
It's my stage name.
Yeah, it was like a thing of like,
That was like early days.
yeah, Kay's had hers for a lot longer than I've had this one. It was sort of like a name to live up to, sort of thing. Like, look, if you're Kayla Hellkit, and you got to be that on stage. Like, I think it came from the fact that I'd performed for a few years prior, you know, and like been on the circuit a bit more than Kate. It was like, look, not that I felt like I was like better in that sort of way, but it's like, look, we gotta hit this. I'm gonna be doing this behind you. You've gotta. But she naturally like sat into that, and that's her persona anyway. Like, if you ever saw her with just a mic in hand, she does prowl the stage, and so many people used to say how intimidating and scary she is, and then they'd meet her afterwards, and she'd be so nice and like, you know, cute and loving to everyone, and everyone would be like, "Is this the same person?"
Yeah, I am. It is my stage name because I am definitely a different person on stage. Not that I mean to be, but just that, you know, you can be who you want to be. There's no sort of social limit. So, you know, you are putting out whatever you want to put out, and people can take it or leave it, you know. So it is a freedom that, you know, I am someone different on stage, and I don't think about it, I just let it happen.
Yeah. Well,
about but the
sorry.
No, the Ladder Messiah.
Yeah, Ladder Messiah.
I feel like I should very quickly say that it is 100% ironic. I don't believe that I am the Ladder Messiah. Obviously, with the whole like space theme of the record, like the space death theme and stuff. David Bowie, you know, Major Tom, and obviously in one of his songs, his very, very famous songs, he says like a leper messiah, and I remember the first time I heard that, I thought he said like a leather messiah, and I was like, oh, got the spiders from Oz record, like checking the liner notes, I'm like, he says leper, that's mine, and it was that simple, and so it's just it's like a lot of the things we do with this band. There's a very intentional and delicate nod of the hat to the past, and then that's mixed and synthesized with everything else into what we believe rock should be into the future. So it's just a little nod to the goat. You know, I'm not saying that we're close to that.
Yeah, I can tell it now. Yeah, Leather Messiah. That's right, of course.
But if you go into space, you know, as a rock band, which every good rock band should do at one point in their career, you know, you gotta salute the original astronauts, and well, the original astronaut, you know, Mr. Boy, he wasn't from this world, was he? So, you know, it's more of a statement of what we'd like to be than or what I'd like to be, not what I am.
Yeah. No, brilliant. Well, let's talk about the new album now, Lunar Mausoleum. I still haven't built that mausoleum. I'm not very
how
good.
many hours you put into that thing?
I'm not very good at building things. I feel like I'm gonna mess it up. But I gotta say, it must have cost you a lot of money, because that extra in the album, that's amazing. It's like
we're not here for the money.
Yeah. That's just fantastic. Have you ever had sort of like fans sending you photos of like builds?
Yeah. People have been building it, and then we've also had to comment and tell them that they've got a wall the wrong way around, or something like that.
A lot of people like doming the dome. They're leaving it like a teepee.
You gotta poke the dome. Don't be afraid to poke the dome in to get that nice.
So whose idea was it?
It was so long ago. It was originally your idea. Like, our first album was recorded at Rancho de la Luna, and then obviously during all that time, by the time it was released, it was lockdown, and then there ended up just being two of us. So it was just sort of putting all of the things that sort of went wrong from that album to rest in the Lunar Mausoleum. And then the first album, we had a game that you could play that was in the first pressing of the first album of Faithless Rituals. So it takes some of the themes from that, and you can fit the cards from the first game into the mausoleum. So in the window slots, you can fit them in and literally put it inside the Lunar Mausoleum.
Yeah, that was just sort of the idea, to lay the first album to rest in sort of every single way. So yeah, the first album had a song called Blue Desert of 10 minutes long that had these 16 pieces that were the 16 tarot cards in the first album. Blue Desert 2 used those same 16 pieces and referenced like in a new set of lyrics, and those two songs can be played on like a 20-minute cycle, so that like a snake eating its own tail. So that puts it like, lays it to rest lyrically. And then then because obviously it came with like a physical thing, which is something that we're really like think is really important and why we make everything that we do. It was laying the physical aspect of the record to rest inside the mausoleum, and then and then musically it all like continues from that. And so it was like Rancho de la Luna, Lunar Mausoleum, House of the Moon. Did.
You haven't got one that's already built nearby, have you? Because I think Crash Records has it, but they've covered it.
Yeah, I know.
We have I didn't actually get to see it.
I could literally build one. Is there one in there?
I think this. So you are looking at Sky Valley HQ of all our bits. This is our record. We have some pre-signed ones. If you want to show them off.
I was gonna pull out mine because to show, but because I came from a record, I didn't have time. I had to sort of like get the studio ready. And that silver. That's the one. Yeah.
That's what it would look like, Bill. And then you pop all the pieces out on the card sheet.
Yeah.
It's pretty insane.
It's one of those things that maybe in the 70s, like prog rock people, that they come up with all these fantastic things. It kind of like, I was thinking that it's like maybe inspired by that kind of thing, because I just thought when I saw it, I was like, oh my god, how am I going to do this?
That's the whole point, like I was saying about like making a physical artifact of music, because a whole doom scrolling, streaming, music just being a free commodity, like, and another distraction on this horrible little brick that's controlling our lives, all that. It doesn't interest us. It doesn't make us feel excited. And I grew up, obviously, a music loving household, so I had records around all the time. And I think, like, the mausoleum's not a gimmick. There's art that runs through every single line of it. It's about making a whole experience, a world that you can live in, because, it's kind of why we don't talk about a lot of politics in our music, because with the crazy like hyper normalization of the world and things, and information coming from every aspect of everywhere, our sort of idea with the art was to kind of just give you a little place to just kind of escape that all for a minute and have something that has a feeling of hope in it, although it's coming from a lot of negativity and struggle in our lives. The idea was to make the absolute best thing that we could, so that other people can dive into that world and feel something good from it. And you get that when there's intention and things behind the art. And I know that people like the music and appreciate it and dig the songs, and that should always be like the center point and the highest priority. But everything around it, that's what makes the world, and that means that you're not just a fan. You get to be in this thing, and it's really blown our minds since like we released the record. The amount of people that have like messaged and really got into it. Like we had the exhibition, and they were like, kids coming in like spacesuits, which was nuts. We had
Really? Oh wow.
messaging us like huge emails as if they were a space cadet, like an official log, saying about how the record arrived at their house and stuff, and what the experience was like. You know,
Yeah.
people videoing, like when you make the mausoleum, if you put a light underneath it, it shines the constellations of the 16 tarot cards on your roof, on your ceiling, and people sending videos of that with like space themed stuff, whatever. It's like it's been great, but that's the point. That's what we wanted to do it for.
Yeah, but then also it's like people can listen to the album and not take in any of that art, and it's fine, and still, you know, enjoy it. You can get into it as much or as little as you want. You know, for the fans that want to dig deeper and really immerse themselves into the whole artwork, and you know, play the record and build a mausoleum at the same time and look at every single piece of art that's on there, they can do. Or you can just listen to a record, and you know, you can take as much or as little as you want. And also it's just realizing that just because we're in a band doesn't mean that we don't have to make as much art as we want. You know, you're in a band, it's an umbrella of doing as much art as you want and as you enjoy. And with the first album being as small as it was, because we were all locked down separately, it's like we wanted to do as go out as far and wide as we can, whether that's playing shows, doing an exhibition, or letting people get into this artwork. We just wanted to share as much of what we've done with as many people as we can.
And I think the other thing that I'd say from that is that we're really fortunate that we're signed to a really, really cool label, New Heavy Sounds, who give us the artistic freedom to do whatever we want. And they, you know, usually there's a conversation at the start from one of the guys, Jed, and he's like, so go on, how much is this going to cost? Which, you know, and then I usually have to spend a few months talking around on a few things, but he always says yes, or I don't let him say no. But
we have to pay for something.
Well, yeah, so like, but I mean, we asked for a gatefold foil covered sleeve with a coloured vinyl and a mausoleum, and the label said, they were like, we can afford 3 of those things, and you know, so then we were like, well, we're gonna make the other thing. But that's the thing, is that I'd say we're in the fortunate position of being able to do that. I mean, I mean, we've probably we have financially crippled ourselves, but the thing was, it's like, there's so many bands that I go to, and just because, you know, vinyl's expensive, to have that like startup capital to do it, a lot of bands don't have a physical product that they're selling at shows. There's loads of great like small bands that I've gone to see, and you know, and they're like, yes, stream it on Spotify, and that's cool, and I understand why those things happen, but like, as a fan of music, I want that tangible thing. I want to go home with it. I want to look at the liner notes. I want to experience the art and you know, like dig deep on it. And I think that's where we come from. A lot of these choices is just as a fan. We're just making the band that we want 16-year-old us to really dig.
Yeah. Is it available on CD as well?
Yeah, of course it is. It's really cool. It's like
what about the mausoleum? Will they get?
I want to do a mini one.
Yeah, that just became like a financial mess.
It was really cute.
Yeah, we did some products and stuff, but yeah, we were already like a year behind the deadline with the and they were like, guys, put it in the record.
Stop.
I mean, they originally just wanted the mausoleum to be in the first pressing only. You know, for financial reasons, which makes total logical sense. And then we said, no, we'll just pay for it, and it's going to be in every record because we've put too much time into this.
Yeah.
Is the exhibition still on, by the way? Is it still on? The exhibition, is it still on?
No.
We just ended it last Sunday on the 15th of Feb.
Oh, I see.
But because I know that people, you know, we have a lot of fans that are in a lot of different places. What's blown my mind about this record is that most of our pre-orders this past month have been people from America and then Germany, which is just wild. So we're working on making a zine about the whole exhibition and everything to do with the album, so that it'll all be there for people to get at the show. So,
yeah.
so no one's there.
Probably
left
not on this
missing out.
tour though.
No. That's going to take some time.
Well, yeah, you're preparing for the tour, which starts next month.
Yeah, we've got a.
Technically next week.
Yeah, we've got.
Next week, yeah.
Yeah, we've got the 27th of Feb, we're at Clear the Road, then 7th of March, we're at Liverpool, and then the official tour starts from the 26th.
26th, yeah.
And then a lot of that, like southern dates, like we're playing like London, Margate.
We're in Tunbridge Wells, Margate, Hackney.
Right.
No, I've got it written down. No, Margate, Eastbourne, Hackney. Then we're in Derby, Stoke, Sheffield, Salford, Bolton, Blackpool.
Yeah. Well, in Salford, it's on Good Friday, so it's it's the 3rd of April, I think.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
Yeah.
Wait, it's Good Friday when people give up Lent.
No, that's Easter Sunday.
Oh, right, okay. I thought it was going to be like even more debaucherous. You know, everyone's like, I've done 40 days without drinking, get a pint.
They don't eat meat on that day.
Okay, right.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. No meat on Good Friday.
Just meat with it.
Well, I've got just a few more questions, the ones that I normally ask our guests before I let you go, because it's been an hour already. The first one that I've added only this year is, if you could drum in any band, either a current band or maybe past bands or something, which band would it be, Kayley?
For me, it would be Rage Against the Machine. Yeah. Sorry if I'm taking yours.
No,
you've got loads.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just would love to play Rage Against the Machine songs. It's Killing in the Name Of that gets me. It's just like it's heavy, but it's laid back, like in the speed of it. And yeah, that's one that I keep trying to add the kick drum in, because I still don't play with the kick drum. I keep trying to learn that one. That's the first one that I'm going to be able to play on a full kit. But yeah, I think I'll be able. I think I'll do a good job in that band.
Rage.
Oh, were you happy then when it became number one, Christmas number one?
Yeah,
it was Christmas number one a few years ago.
It is the biggest song for a reason. It is an absolute banger. That's a good choice.
Yeah.
I think I've got a couple for like different reasons. I think the first obvious one is Queens of the Stone Age. Just because it's the only other band that I know all the songs and how to play them. And that, like, No One Knows was the first song that I ever played on stage, so there's a big sentimental attachment to that band. And like the amount of drummers that they've had in that band, so like every song is just full of drum riffs and absolute like rhythmic wickedry, so they're at the top of the list. And then if I had the audacious talent of Josh Block, I would love to play drums for a band called White Denim, because they are just like next level. And I don't even know how to explain the music. It's just like it comes under the umbrella of rock, but it mixes like garage psych, like jazz, everything else. And they have an album called D, and the drumming on that has like blown me away since I was a teenager. So if I ever had the ability, I would love to be able to play that. I think they're absolutely. And then I think for both of us, you just have to say Led Zeppelin, because.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
All above. Yeah. I can't believe I didn't think Sabbath. We always joke about when you say like, oh, pick your favourite lineup of a band, if you pick anyone from any band. And I always joke that like, well, you start with Ozzy because he's the most underrated but like greatest frontman of all time. Back in the day, like had a great voice, great stage presence. So you go, right, you gotta have him on vocals, and then you're like, well, if you've got him, you need Geese Butler on bass because he's the guy that brings that groove. And then if you've got him, you might as well have Tony. And then, and then you can't not have Phil. And then you're like, all right, I'll just have Sabbath.
You just have Black Sabbath then. Well, What I was going to say is, I don't know if you've heard the news, but Foo Fighters are playing on Friday at the
Yeah,
Ritz.
that's wild, isn't it? Yeah,
It's
£99.
crazy.
I think my tickets are £10.
I
So
think it's a £3 including it's a youth project show. We're supporting the youth.
yeah, man.
Well, because I was in Leeds, and then when I saw it on social media, it says you actually got to go to the Ritz and buy
Yeah,
the
you
tickets
can
for
line up.
yourself. I was like, oh, okay. Well, it's sold
Yeah.
out now anyway. So.
Yeah, I think like the Foo Fighters announced the shows after 12 p.m. when you could line up from and stuff. So it was all like it was a bit chaotic. I appreciate the sentiment and the idea behind what they're doing. I mean, but I don't have £99 to
No,
see a
no.
but I do have up to £15, which is usually the price range that we sit in, and I'd say that we're just as good, and we're just as loud. And there's two of us, so really you're getting even better of a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, we're like what?
You're getting a more potent.
Yeah, I don't do maths above 4, but you get in a whatever discount of the price.
Just come to a show.
Yeah.
Right. Also, the next question I wanted to ask you is, do you do any drum tricks? Like, do you twirl when you play?
Oh, drum tricks. Oh, do you have any sticks?
You have an next?
Oh, damn. I will. I can do I can spin it through my fingers and things like that.
My trick is not dropping them.
Yeah.
Oh.
I remember I went to a drum camp in America when I was a teenager. I'm gonna get a pencil, and I remember they were all doing the drum, tricks, like stick tricks, and like loads of them could do these insane ones where they were spinning them and flicking them because they were all in like corpse bands, like when they were at high school. And so they're all American and all doing these wild things. And then I'd only met them for a few hours. So I was like, oh yeah, I've got a stick, guy. I've got a trick, guys. And I sat there and I went like this. And then got the British sarcasm, and they were like, "That's great, man! Like, really good job." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm taking the piss." Like, and then I spun my stick, and they're like, "Oh, right." And yeah, go down well. Go down well, but. Yeah, so
But you don't normally incorporate it in your show. You don't. No.
Yeah, get you on the. Yeah, that's a good idea. Actually, we need more of that.
I think I can manage that.
Yeah.
Aiden O'Rourke is our tech support, and he said that he loves the model mausoleum. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make him.
You can build it.
Build it for me.
Like IKEA instructions, when they say that you should have a friend building it with you. Yeah, do it with someone else, and
make sure you play the record as well.
Yeah. Put the album on, bring a friend, and
that's it. Make an evening of it. It usually takes the average time is like side 1. People usually have it built by side 1, so that's your challenge. You gotta have it built and the record over.
Yeah. Okay, that's a brilliant idea. Next question is drumming heroes. Do you have any drumming heroes, Kayley?
Me.
Yes, of course.
I mean, you're the best teacher that I've had. That's the only teacher that I've had. Drumming heroes.
I know one for you.
Oh, go on.
Stella Mosgower.
Oh, yeah.
So, I always say her last name wrong.
Yeah, from Warpaint.
She's a
fine
tasty drummer. Absolutely, like her pocket is great. We've seen Warpaint a few times, and usually after the show, she's the main thing that you're talking about. I think that's the thing as well when we were talking about Kay being the drummer of the band. We've done that for years. You come away from a show, you're watching the drummers. Kay's always talked about the drummer and why things have worked, and do you think they weren't feeling it today? That show wasn't quite the same.
I do. We do always say like your band is only as good as your drummer.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like they're the powerhouse behind what everyone else is doing, and you really feel that when some, which is why it was so nerve-wracking going behind the drum kit. Because I was like, I've got to hold this together.
You knew the sort of like responsibilities that you had, but I think that awareness is wide. kicked so much ass.
Yeah.
I can't believe I forgot his name. We've always liked the drummer of Triggerfinger. He's really good. We've watched them a few times. They're really good. You've spoken about him a few times. I can't think about anyone else for you.
No, there's plenty for you.
I mean, there's obviously Brad Will from Dom. Plenty of Bill Ward, absolutely good. I'm gonna say the controversial thing of Ian Pace.
Ian Pace.
Deep Purple. Are you ready for this? I'm to say that the Mule is a better drum solo than Moby Dick. Everyone says that Moby Dick is the drum solo that, the quintessential rock drum solo. The Mule all day for me. I think it tells a better story. I think it's technically more complex, but not in a muso way. And I just think it's cooler. And that's saying it as someone who's got a John Bonham tattoo. So
Josh Freese.
Josh Freese is a dude.
Yeah.
9 Inch Nails are like the best live band I've ever watched in my life. I saw them in 2005 with Josh Freese, and he blew my mind. I used to really be big on Ilan Rubin. When I was a teenager, I saw him in every band that he was going through, and he was always a really big influence for me because I think he's only 4 or 5 years older than me, so he was always the guy I was looking up to. The reason why it's the reason why I played open-handed for a long time for efficiency. YK does that when she plays live as well. And then who else? John Theodore out of Queens. He's an absolute ripper. I said Josh Block out of White Denim. Bill Wood. There's loads. I just like a lot of
drummers. Yeah. Well, you mentioned drum solo earlier. With Ian Pace and stuff. Do you think that we need drum solos at every gig? Because I do think so. I think the audience loves drum solos.
Yeah, it's part of a rock show, isn't it? I think for a while, I think they kind of became a thing, didn't they? Drummer starts doing 4 on the floor with the kick, you know what I mean? He's laying that down and then does the thing around the toms, then does the slower, faster thing or whatever. Or if they've got a big enough show, they go upside down. And I think they kind of became caricatures of themselves,
Yeah.
Well, I haven't been to a rock show in a while where I've seen a good old drum solo.
It would be impressive if we could do a drum solo.
Yeah, I know. You said that now.
Maybe not a legal in, but
a diggling.
Yeah. If we pull that off, we need a whole other podcast to dissect how the hell we did that.
Yeah.
I love a good drum solo. Yeah, Bonham used to push it when he get 10 minutes plus, and I used to have some bootlegs that I used to listen to, and I'm sure they went. I'm sure they won at 22 minutes, and it come on, big man, reel it in. I
think a few minutes is. I don't know if you've heard of the Molotovs. There's a new band called a young band called the Molotovs, and I saw them recently. And the drummer did the drum solo in Manchester, and I thought that was amazing. Everybody loved it. And then of course, the brother and sister joined him after about a couple of minutes. So it's just nice to have that, just the drummer.
Yeah, just a drum break. The thing that I find the most interesting of every time I've seen a drummer do a solo live is that they'll rip the most complex fills, they'll razz around the toms at 1,000,000 miles an hour, do the whole thing, which is really impressive. And then as soon as they go into a nice full fat rock beat, and they'll bring it back to dum ka dum dum ka, that's when everyone starts cheering, and it always makes me laugh. I'm it's just absolute busted and up for 2 minutes, sweating and that kind of got a polite applause. But then when he gave you the nice little Casio keyboard rock beat, everyone loses it. Which is rightly so because it's music, but it always makes me laugh.
But next question is: have you ever had any drumming disasters?
Drumming disasters.
Accident.
What about
drumming.
a really early show when we were a two-piece? Was it when we were in Liverpool?
Go on.
Or when? So we were trying to work out what was going on because obviously our mics are connected to the kick drum, and the mic was moving further away from me. So I'm trying to play and I'm getting closer and closer to the snare and the cymbals because I'm having to
they're
reach
not
the
moving.
microphone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is going on? And somehow while Max is playing the kick drum, usually it ends up going towards me. So the microphone's coming up to me and I'm playing like this. But it was somehow going backwards.
Yeah, like towards me.
Him.
The harder I hit the kick drum, it was managing to
defy the laws of physics and come backwards.
Yeah, which we couldn't work out. So yeah, like all K's drums is stationary. Mike's moving away, but then because I have a pedal board next to me, it was like the kick pedal was here, but then all my pedal boards were like right next to it, and then I was clicking the wrong pedals because I kept moving back, and that made like sense, and we managed to keep it together. But like, there's always a weird thing when we play live because you can kind of shoot each other a glance, like, what's going on here? Did you miss a part? And you're trying to communicate like whilst the song's going on, and you're trying to figure out what the problem is with each other. And then when I realised she's leaning over and I looked, because we have everything taped on the floor and nothing was where the tape was, I was like, how the is this even happening? This makes no sense.
The main problem that I have is with the microphone because it's on the kick drum. Sometimes the gooseneck will sort of twist away from me, so I have to like sort of do like I have
like a little horse.
Yeah, like a horse, and like because my hands are obviously busy and like whip the microphone back around the other way. Or one time it just completely fell out of the just fell off onto the floor, so I'm just playing and can't.
And then I had to pick up the vocals of that song when I'd never sung that bit before, and trying to like figure out in like real time.
Yeah, luckily our producer Joe was there at that show with us.
But it was so
he's trying, so he's behind me and
like,
I'm playing.
Whilst you're playing, and he was
trying to get the mic in, and he's like jumping around. Trying to get in.
And if you ever met him, he's a funny guy at the best. Like, I mean, that, and I'm trying to play it, and he wasn't trying to make me laugh, but it was just popping up behind his shoulder, and we're absolutely like howling because he just couldn't get him into it. But yeah, and then like actual drumming things from back in the day, I've had a stick go through and splinter, and then go through that part of my hand all the way through.
Oh wow!
That wasn't a live show. That was when we were practicing, wasn't it?
Yeah, just like it snapped and I dropped it. And it bounced off the snare and then just went right through. And I did the full like Tom and Jerry howl when I saw it because it looked like I don't know, you know, like you'd find it at a joke shop, you know, when you have like the arrow through your head.
Yeah.
I've done that. I fell off the back of a truck. Because I thought it had a back. I thought that like we were playing on the side of a big lorry, and I thought the back was like hard or like whatever, but it wasn't. It was a curtain, and I didn't realise that. I fell like just off the floor. I've leant by and just got through the curtain and landed on the deck, 6 foot below. What else have I done? I've had cymbals like fly off and like early days, I want to clip the back of my ear. This was a scary one. I clipped the back of my ear with a stick. Don't know how I managed to get that close to my head. But because of the adrenaline, I didn't feel it. I'm playing, and then suddenly I could see blood just pouring onto my snare drum. And and obviously because I was like, you know, full intensity, when you're bleeding that much and you don't know where it's coming from, it's like a big shock. And I remember the band at the time, the Wolf on guitar, turns around, looks at me, and he's like, "Yeah, blood, all right." Middle of the song, like looking like, "That's cool." And I was like 14, 15, like nearly crying, like, "What's going on? Like, I'm dying." And whatever, freaking out. Song finished. So it was like the second to last song, and then suddenly my ear was like burning with pain. I realised I'm like, right, I've hit myself, and I got blood all over this other guy's drum kit, and then after it I had to like apologise and things, and then we realised we cleaned it up, and I'm telling you now, the cut were like, it weren't even that big, it was absolutely nothing, but it just like poured out. I've also stage. I didn't want to say no to a gig. I was playing, and it was in the middle of it, not quite a drum solo, a drum break, and I had to stop. And I didn't quite twist to the side to throw up, and managed to get it all over this guy's like hi-hat stand and stuff. And yeah, this early days, and yeah, I had to have baby wipes everywhere. And this guy who was like 20 odd, like gone mental at me for getting sick all over his drums. Yeah, I've had a few things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I just remembered a friend of mine saw you. I think you were supporting the Hives. And I think she mentioned something that you fell off. Kaylee, you fell off the stage.
That was me, yeah. That was when the Hives were playing. So after we'd done our show, thankfully, and I went crowd surfing because I'm there to have a good time. And security just weren't there to catch me when I got to the front, and because I was head first, I just went and hit the deck. Yeah, so landed back of my head on concrete, had a nice little, quite a big bump on my head.
Yeah, and a trip to A&E as well.
Well, after I drove and all the equipment back, because you were drinking, I was the hearse driver that evening, so got us back, and I was like, I don't feel that great. I was fine, but because
my friend was there, and she told me about it. It's like, I think I saw her.
There is a video of
it. I felt double guilty because I was in the crowd, and me and my friend, let's get her up. Like that, and then you watch it, and you just see her over the sea of people, and then she just disappeared, and you knew that you went there, and it was just like, oh no, like.
But because my mum had come to watch us at that show, so like, I mean, obviously I just played to everyone as well, so I had to play it cool and like, no, I'm fine, but also because my mum was worried about me, I had to do the thing of like, no, Mum, I'm absolutely fine, don't worry about it, and then go off and actually want to cry.
Right. Well. Last question now. So, what would be your advice to aspiring drummers or musicians in general?
Just do it and figure it out after. Like, your first shows are going to be awful. Like, just accept it. But just no. But if you accept it and you can enjoy it, and you will get better. You know.
I think it's the thing that you, at the beginning, you want to do everything, you want the biggest kit, you want to learn everything, and it's great, and that tenacity and stuff. You know, the kids who are into music and why they do it, I completely understand it because I was one of them. And I think when you kind of have a little while of learning, you realize that above anything else it's the emotional intent. If you know that you're being true and honest about why you're doing something, then the outcome, like, it doesn't matter, and how you, whatever vessel you're going through, so whether you're playing guitar or drums or whatever, that's almost irrelevant if your emotion and intent is like pure and focused. Play with other musicians, just play as much as you can, don't let people shut you up. Play loads of shows, just do all the obvious things, don't overthink anything. Learn all your favorite songs and listen to loads of music. Listen with intent. You know, don't be doom scrolling whilst you listen. Listen is the one. Listen when you're playing. The best musicians, because people don't understand that music is a language a lot of the time. When you're playing, what you're trying to do is get it. So like when you speak, you're not thinking about what you say, you're saying what you're saying, you're able to express yourself. You want to reduce that like friction between how you feel and what you want to say as much as possible, so then it can just happen. And the best players can be playing and listening to other people, so then they can reply to that. And I think that's massively important as a drummer. And but if someone's got an hour and a half into this podcast and they're listening to this, then I'm sure they don't need my advice. They know what they're doing.
Well, before I let you go, do you want to just invite everyone to the tour, go and see you in all the different cities?
Yes. We'll see you all there.
Yeah, come to the show.
And it's all on your social media, Facebook, Instagram. So all the dates.
Some bands in town as well, and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
were. Yeah, £99 tickets with a discount of £96 for your subscribers and viewers exclusively.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Kaylee and Max, for saying yes to Ask the Drummer. And I'm really glad that I finally got to talk to you. And, because when I go and see a band or when I go to a gig, I don't normally know what to say to them. And it's always nice to just ask the drummers to come on the podcast, and then I can ask them all the questions I wanted to ask them. So, so I'll see you. Yeah, I'll see you both on Good Friday in Salford.
Yeah.
And good luck with the tour. And
Thank
take care.
It's not going to be Good Friday. It's going to be Great Friday.
See you. Thank you. Bye. Bye. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much to Kayley and Max. So for those of you, especially in Manila, my friends in the Philippines, you've got to check out Sky Valley Mistress. They're absolutely amazing. And if you're of course, in the UK, check out their social media pages to find out about the dates of the tour, which I think starts on the 27th. But the main bulk of the dates are in March and April as well. So thank you so much. I really enjoyed that one. I really enjoyed the episode. Right. So next week I'll be back with another drummer. Hopefully, I can confirm it with my guest. So it's going to be another. No, it's not. It's going to be a 2 o'clock one, and it's going to be on a Monday because I'll be in Glasgow on Sunday. So just keep an eye out for the guest announcement post on the Ask the Drummer page on Facebook. But for now, I've got to say thank you all so much. Oh, I'm just looking at my jumper here. It's Shine On Weekender in Skegness. In 5 weeks' time. Shine On is absolutely amazing. If you haven't been, get your friends and go there. They've got Lightning Seeds and loads of other bands, Candy Opera, of course. So check out the social media pages for Shine On, and it's guaranteed you'll have a great time in Skegness, Butlins in Skegness. Well, that's it for me for now. So I'll see you all hopefully next Monday, next week. And as always, love music, love life, love drummers. Make sure you go and see Sky Valley Mistress. And I'm so excited I could visualize it, because like a one drum kit, but two people playing that same drum kit. So it's gonna be exciting. So make sure that you do go and see them on this tour. Sorry. So yeah, that's it. Good night, everyone, or good morning to my friends in the Philippines, and hopefully see you all again soon. Bye for now. Bye.